Oscar BEVIS, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I haven't caught you in your finest hour there, if I'm being honest. I started it as you was wiping your mouth. Conor Benn, how are we, mate?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Very well, very well. Shout out to Turkish Kitchen in Brentwood for opening to give us some lovely food and letting us do this interview. Mate, 5 days on. Just in terms of the response is where I want to start. I feel like, I know you always mention the run of fights from Koivula onwards. It's always been sort of quite big time.
Yeah.
What's the difference between this response and compared to the last few?
I think every fight just continued to show something different. I mean, we're always evolving, always growing. So I think the public are just seeing the fruits of my hard labour.
Do you feel like, and kind of a bit of a diversion from Saturday night, in general, do you feel like you have to please the British public?
Not have to, but I want to, and not try to. I just do. So this all just falls into line perfectly in the way it's supposed to be.
In terms of Chris Algieri, it was the same sort of narrative again. This is another step up from Conor. When you stepped out of the ring on Saturday night, did you feel that it was a step up from your previous fight? Could you feel the difference in levels when it came to Chris Algieri?
Not in the slightest. I mean, everyone presents... Who's that? Hold on. Hello? That was definitely...
Do you reckon?
Mate, 100% a phone call from Turkey saying...
Phone call from Turkey?
Turkey, yeah. Oh, sorry, yeah, keep this in if it's interesting.
I mean,
yeah,
no,
a phone call from Turkey saying, I'm going to send you confirmation via text message. Can you put your credit card details in? For the
just as the fight purse drops.
Yeah, it's a sign.
I was going to say, what does Benn-Broner have to say, but we'll leave that bit. Yeah, so what was I asking? Oh, yeah. Did you feel the difference in levels between Chris Algieri, which again was billed as a step up for yourself?
No, it wasn't a step up. I planned on making that fight look exactly like the fight was supposed to be. And, I did just that. They keep saying it's a step up in all these fights, but it's just frustrating because I was hoping it would go more rounds so I could demonstrate a lot more in the fight. But, in the short few rounds it went, I did demonstrate that. So... it's just one of them things. He's just an opponent, a world-ranked opponent. But listen, man, we just keep it moving. I fight anyone they put in front of me.
When we was back in the changing room post-fight, one of the first things you said was, Vic, get that knockout up. I want to see it. Obviously, that's done the rounds. I think it was like on 1 million views on Twitter within like 10 hours. That's going to be sort of the highlight of the performance. But when I spoke to Tony, when I spoke to your old man, it was the boxing ability, it was the footwork, and it was everything that came alongside that was the most pleasing factor. Do you feel that way as well? Yeah,
there were so many things that we've been working on that come off fight night, but there's always room for improvement, and we're always evolving and growing. So, the sky's the limit. But I wasn't surprised that the knockout come. You got to remember, I'm sparring super middleweights. 12 4-minute rounds. So I know my own strengths. I know what I'm capable of, and. I knew the knockout would come. There's another thing talking about it and there's another thing doing it, and I deliver every single time.
Talk me through the punch, because mate, he was out cold. I mean, even when he went down, I was kind of worried for his leg a bit because of the way he fell. It was a heavy, heavy shot.
Yeah, the power was there. That's been proven in my career. The power is there. From the Vargas knockout to beating up Formella to obviously Granada's run. So he's a completely different story. If he had come to fight, we would have got banged out as well. So, I don't just rely on my power. I can box as well.
Obviously, coming into it, like I said, previous people talking about Chris Algieri being the bigger test. What did you actually make of him as a personal fight week? Because I know that Eddie was kind of going, he's an intellect. He's with the Zone broadcast for a reason. He does all that sort of analysis and breakdown. So it was kind of billed as like you're fighting someone who's almost more knowledgeable than yourself. What did you make of Algieri as like sort of the bloke on fight week?
He's a lovely guy, but at the end of the day, I was in there to do one job. He was the person in the opposite side of the corner, so he was the person I was gonna, he's the person I was fighting. So he was so much as an object in my way, and that was that. There's people going, oh, there's intelligence in a sport. Well, I'm an intelligent fighter. setting up my shots. I planned my shots. I landed my shots. I timed my shots. And we'll grow off this performance. And we'll continue to grow after every performance. If you're my next opponent and you're watching the Conor Benn versus Chris Algieri fight, I'm not going to be that fighter no more. I'll demonstrate something different in every fight I continue to have.
In terms of after the knockdown, right? So, after the knockdown, after the knockout, you kind of levered back to bang one in, and we saw the situation with Hamza Shiraz. You levered back to stick another one in, and then you sort of halted. And I don't know, from my perspective, that shows like measured aggression. It's not like you were just swinging and going, right, I've got him, swing, swing, swing. It's kind of like measured aggression. Does that show sort of a sign of mentally of how composed you were?
I was very composed. I was very chilled the fight week. I had a 45-minute nap. Moments before walking over to the arena, I was very chilled. So when I got in the ring and I hit him, I was going to hit him on the way down because I thought, I ain't having you get back up. And then I see his ankle twist, and I thought, no, he's gone limp. He ain't getting up.
Talk about having a nap beforehand, right? And obviously, I came to see you, and thanks for giving me that time as well, by the way, because I know you were knackered at that point. I could tell. I come to see you and Tony the night before. And it was very sort of, it both looked like you just woken up from being asleep. It was very relaxed, it was very chilled. What's it like? Up. Did you just wake up? Yeah. Because it was kind of like you were in a very relaxed and just kind of, can you please leave me alone sort of state?
Mate,
is that what you're like? Just sort of just chill, sleep and nothing else? Because obviously we see you as we see the intense side in that, but you were very like mellow.
Mate, I was so chilled. I was like just relaxing. I was, but I popped us in there. I didn't have them though. But it's my job. I work extremely hard, and I'm so confident when I get in there that I wasn't concerned about what Algieri brings to the table. Talk is cheap at the end of the day. People want to talk about this and talk about that, and talk is so cheap, man. And I'll just keep proving why I'm Britain's best welterweight, in my opinion. The rankings don't lie, but I just work extremely hard, man, and that's why I'm so chilled fight week, because I know I've done everything I could possibly do to get the victory. There should be no reason as to why I don't get the victory. It shouldn't be.
Obviously, beforehand in the change room, you said that you didn't feel any nerves in comparison to other fights. When you said that you're not worried about Chris Algieri and what he brings, you said there was no nerves beforehand. What would it take to make you go, all right, I'm feeling a bit shaky here?
Me not getting up at 5 a.m. and running.
Me knowing you haven't put the graft in.
Yeah. Me not dieting. Me not sparring great. Me not performing great in training. Me not reaching good numbers. That's when you worry. And so you should.
I mean, we know you're a gym rat. We know how hard you work. Tony says it, and your old man says that he's seen over the past 3 months how hard you work. I heard you say you'd leveled up in training. Now, you've always been a hard worker. But does that level up come from you working harder, or just the fact that you're now better ability-wise, so it feels like you're leveling up?
No, I do level up. Like my running times, sparring 12 4-minute rounds with middleweights, it's all just all round. It all comes hand in hand. It all plays a massive part. I just do. I don't know how. I managed to do it. Because every camp I give 100%, but then that 100% soon becomes the norm. And you break barriers, so it's not 100%, so it's you just break barriers. And that's how you grow. It's the old cliche saying, nothing grew in comfort zones or whatever it is. It's the truth.
I want to talk about Nigel being there for the last 3 months. So I interviewed him on the way back to the hotel after Saturday night, and I felt a bit bad because he was carrying your shorts and your fight kit, the belts, and I kind of wanted to help him, but I had to get the content. Sorry, Nigel. Shout out the SA UK boys who helped him out. But he said to me, he was like, jokingly, he went, I'm Conor's Joey now. And as a father and son relationship, like, he hasn't sort of got that, not that he would have, but he hasn't got that sort of chip on his shoulder that's like, I'm a legend in my own right. I ain't carrying Conor's bags. It's kind of like he's forgot, or in that situation, he's forgetting that he's Nigel Benn and he's just your dad.
He is just my dad. He says, I slipped out of his shadows in this fight. No, man. I'm so proud to be my dad's son. Everything I have is because of him. I'm forever grateful for everything he does, continues to do. He's just a special man to me, and I don't mind being in my dad's shadow for as long as I'm existing on this earth. But yeah, just whatever he says.
Obviously, being here for 3 months, and I know how much that would have spurred you on, and he said like he's training alongside you, and I know that deep down he sort of loved that, because I think that's kind of what he would have dreamed about when he was a young dad. But if he's not there for the next camp, is that going to be? He will be here, yeah.
Yeah, he will definitely be here.
Is that something that you want, or he wants, or you've both just gone, this needs to happen?
We both won. Yeah. We had such a great camp, and it was such a blessing having him here. Like, it's hard when he goes back, 'cause it's like I feel like I've lost a limb, but it's just it is what it is, man. You gotta make a sacrifice. I ain't getting my violin out today. It is hard, but it's just one of them things, man. Just gotta make the most of the time that he is here.
How much of a benefit was it at the start of your career that you were kind of not left to your own devices, because obviously you were, I'll say, passed on to Tony Sims, who your dad put his faith in? How much of a benefit is the fact that, all right, Nigel's going to be around now for the next camp, like you said, but how much of a benefit was it that you had to do the first bit without him? You were speaking to him on FaceTime. He wasn't here.
I don't know. There weren't really any. The public see me for who I am because I was here on my own, I believe. People don't always see me as Nigel Benn's son because, I've been here on my own doing it. I think that's the only benefits from it, but I just wish my family was here. It's a nice comfort to have.
Obviously, you've got your own family now. I just see Victoria bring Eli along. Can I just say he is so cute? Sometimes people say babies are cute, and you think they're not, but he is absolutely adorable, and I can see he is like your prized possession.
Are you just saying that though, or is it?
No, genuinely, because I've seen babies before. Like Joe and your mum shows you a baby picture on Facebook, and you're like, ugh, but he genuinely is absolutely adorable.
That's what I think. I look at him, I go, how are you my son? Like, what did I ever do to deserve you? Like, yeah, and sometimes I feel so upset that I brought him into this world. That's very deep, very, very, very deep.
Very deep for a Wednesday afternoon.
Yes, eating some Turkish and you're having a beer, and I'm having a sparkling water. So they'll just throw you under the bus. So.
No, trust me, Coogan's had his fair free share of drinks on the channel. I think we'll be all right today. Cool. But I don't know, I spoke about the interview that I'd done with you after Koivla, and Victoria was in the background, and I don't know, now you're kind of not just a different fighter, but a different person, and I don't want to get too deep, but it's kind of like the public have seen the growth, because you are in the public eye, of Conor Benn as a man as well.
That's the best part about this. It's all documented. That's the best part. I'd say about my career, it's all documented from the start, as a man, as Conor's life, as who I am from the start, and will be to the finish. And that's the blessing for me. That's so it's just lovely. Because I'll look back in years and go, wow, look at that, we were so young and naive, because I do it now already,
What's the most recent point that you look back at and go, God, I was so young and naive? Like, what's the most recent point you could look back at and go, man, I'm so different to now?
My fight in New York. Yeah. Thought I was all that in a bag of chips. And I was...
Was it because you was in New York as well?
Yeah, I thought, cool, and all that. And then I look back around and I go, you're only a kid, mate. And then in another 5 years, I probably look back and go, you were only a kid. It's just the way it works, isn't it?
You're talking about New York, and I said to Nigel, I don't want to ask who's next, because it's kind of like a repetitive thing of there's the same name instructed in. But in terms of America, you fought there before. Next time will be a lot bigger. It will be the big time in America. What do you think it takes to crack America from your perspective?
I don't know. Being able to fight is important. It's fluent in Spanish.
Is that it? I mean, you can do both of them.
I was gonna say one more thing, but then I thought, I'm gonna get stick for that, so I thought I won't say it.
No, go on. We're all friends here.
Nah, I don't. You see what you've done there? See what you've done?
I was pulling on the heartstrings.
No, you was.
I was more of as a friend than as an interviewer.
It was about to come out as well, and I was like, mate, I'm not even gonna play your games here.
Apologies. Like I said, obviously, next time in America will be big time whenever it comes, because as a welterweight, it kind of does have to come in America. But in terms of what's next, I've overheard you say that Eddie's looking at the Broner fight, and that is what we are likely to get in around March, April time.
Most definitely, hopefully O2 Arena, Benn-Broner. If not, Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, would love them fights. Great champions, respect them both. Would like both them fights. But listen, it doesn't matter what I want. I'll leave it to my team and let them sort something out. I like the Ugas fight. Obviously, Ugas fight is mandatory, so hopefully it comes through. And I've defended my WBA 6 times now, so I'd love to get a shot at that title.
Eddie said there's 2 levels in between Chris Algieri and the world title. Let's say level 1 is Adrian Broner. Obviously, you still have to fight him and beat him, albeit that's signed. What is the second level before world level, or can you go Broner and world title?
I'd go world title next. Eddie's not in the gym with me, and Tony's seeing what I do on a daily basis. I know they stay on comms daily, but you don't actually see the hard graft. The only reason I'm talking about a Broner in March, April is I don't want to wait around. Obviously, Ugas is fighting for defending his world title. Then obviously you've got March, which is open for a fight date for myself. I'm ranked highly in every governing bodies. We're talking the likes of Jaron Ennis's, Rashidi Ellis. They're world title fights. Avanesians, they're world title fights. Fight them all for a world title. Virgil Ortiz, world title fights. Avanesian's been made mandatory to fight Virgil Ortiz. Whether he takes that or not, I don't know. We'll just wait and see, do you know what I mean?
All right, Conor, there are now people flooding into the restaurant, and we've got some lovely food, so I ain't going to keep you for too long. Just finally, from your part, you wrapped up a 2021, which has taken you from, I would say, being a face in British boxing to perhaps being a face in the public eye in general in Britain. How do you reflect on the 2021 of massive personal growth? Because it has been huge. I feel like I know a different Conor from the start of the year, honestly.
It's flattering. It really is. I'm so blessed. I'm just so grateful for the support. I mean, I can't see it, but I ain't got hairs on me. My hairs just stood up on my arm. I'm so overwhelmed by love and support from the British fans, from the American. A todos mis seguidores latinos, doy gracias para siguiéndome. And so, just so grateful for all the supports I get global.
Brilliant, and that Spanish is cool as fuck, by the way. Just from me, Conor, I want to say thank you as well, because you do give IFL and myself time, and I do really appreciate that. So thank you very much.
Oscar, I always got time for you, bro. Even on my daily, I've got time for you, bro.
Good man.